Welcome back to Nadia's Notes. This is video number 2 about Vadim, and the first piece of news is that in New York City on Sunday at 1 p.m. at the Synod of Holy Bishops, which I think is 75 East 93rd or 94th Street. I'll post the link to the address or the address below in the description of the video. There's going to be a mass for him, and then there's going to be a wake. So that's the first piece of news. If you knew Vadim, then that's your time to come and honor him. Then I guess, what else? We were lucky enough to meet last night and have a conversation about him, about his life, about what potentially happened to him. And it's, we went through all the theories that are circulating online. Some of his friends had been reading Reddit and perusing Instagram to kind of get a better understanding of what might have occurred there. So if you watched the previous video, I think I said that what I could foresee happening was that someone who was really high on something was involved in this, and Vadim just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. Like someone could have hallucinated something and just attacked him. I don't know, of course I wasn't there. I've never been to Burning Man, so I don't really have a good feeling for the atmosphere there. I do know that this is the first murder that has occurred there in over I don't know. I feel like Burning Man started either in the 90s or the 2000s, so what, 30 or 40 years? I don't know. So just quite, I don't know, shocking and sad and terrifying, of course. And and then one of our friends said that he spent the whole night, and another friend on Reddit, trying to read up on what could have happened, which is what I did today. I looked at stories where someone said they saw, some guy said that he had to go get his girlfriend from some guy's RV, and then the guy in the RV had told him that he had spent hours washing blood out of the RV and something, I don't remember what, but like I read quite a few threads. Then other people were suspicious of like some silver car that was at the campsite where Vadim was killed that wasn't there, so which they saw before going to the effigy burn, and they didn't when they came back. I don't know, it's also unclear when Vadim's friends, the people that he came with to the event, saw him last, because how the whole story started before we even knew that like kind of something happened is someone posted that they hadn't heard from Vadim in 4 days. So that was kind of like very strange. And then in kind of I hadn't seen Vadim's installation art. It was really, really very sweet and cute. He made a heart. He made a mirrored heart, I think, with radiating lines, silver and gold lines, which I think were kind of indicative of the energy that the heart gives off. So you could see that. I feel like, when kids draw the sun, they do lines radiating. And then if you're interested, someone posted a description of Vadim about their friendship in the previous video, which was super sweet and beautiful. So feel free to look at the previous video and the posted comment. Thank you, Jana, so much for writing such a beautiful thing about Vadim. I'm so grateful that you found the previous video and were able to say this about him for everyone to know. So Vadim's artwork was amazing. I loved it. There's a video somewhere. I don't have it. One of his friends has it of Vadim talking about the installation piece that he was going to do and how his hand got, I think this hand, his writing hand, was bit by a bee, so he had it bandaged up. If anyone has a copy of his March 8th, 2024 poem that he sent to his friends who are girlfriends, I'd love to have a copy. I had lost my pictures and videos a while ago off of WhatsApp, so I don't have access to any of that. And so I really loved it when he sent it to me. It was quite a rabbit hole that I went down today when I couldn't help but try to like figure out what could have happened to him, because it's just like, it's such a tragedy, and it's just like, it's impossible to process it. So you try to like find a reason, a cause, and of course a part of you is like, it feels like if I can know what happened, then, you know, first of all, I think it's only fair to know, but it also introduces such confusion, just the fact that it happened, and so it feels like knowing what happened can kind of reintroduce a sense of safety, if that makes sense. So yeah, like I was even considering re-downloading Instagram, which I have blocked, which I have erased right now because I was spending way too much time on it, and then I was like, because there are threads and accounts on Instagram where people are posting about him and about his life, but then I was like, I don't know. I was like, it was pretty sad, but also calming and sad at the same time. Like, somehow reading the Reddits, the potential Reddits, and knowing that other people are wondering what happened. Other people care about this being solved and understanding like what took place. It was nice to see that people kind of had a lot of sympathy for what had occurred. Because last night when we got together, we were feeling pretty desperate. Like, there was just so much pain. And we were very lucky because we got to process it together. So if you're in a position, and I would have been the first person to like not process anything with anybody, like I should be able to handle everything on my own, and if I can't, there's something wrong with me. And which is how I dealt with Dima's death, and trying to do better. I'm like actually telling people what's happening, even though it makes me feel ashamed because like I'm burdening them, or like I'm injecting myself into this situation. And I'm like, oh my God, like I even felt guilty for making the previous video. So that it doesn't seem that I'm like trying to be a part of the story, like, or the sensationalization of the story. But I'm like, Vadim was a part of my life, so, and I hope that maybe these videos are useful to someone who's going through grief, or, you know, someone who has had a similar thing happen in their life. And so don't isolate, reach out to somebody. Like, your friends are not fragile. Like, I want to keep my friends safe, and like not have to burden them with this pain, but I don't know, that's like a glitch in terms of I would be more than happy to listen to someone who reached out to me, so I don't know why when I would need something like that, I feel like that's a burden, something to consider. But if any of you out there are feeling that way, fight that feeling or accept the feeling and like tell someone, because it somehow, you don't have to carry the pain alone, and you don't have to have unanswered questions. And I mean, we're all in the position where we don't know what happened, but at least like it was so weird, and it was stressful to sit there trying to figure out what are the possibilities, right? That was super stressful. It wasn't like but it also gave me, at least I hope that other people too, a feeling of relief, because we were able to come there, and instead of each one of us sitting, like, I don't know, on our phone or at home or wherever, with our own thoughts and struggles and pain about what happened to Vadim and the unfairness of it all, and like, of course, the question of why does God allow this to happen came up, right? And what does it mean? And what does this mean about Burning Man? And what does this mean about faith? And what does it mean, you know, about so many things? I'm just making sure that the little wind cap is still on the mic. And we spent maybe like, I think at least 3 hours sitting there together, looking through social media posts, sharing what we had found, sharing stories of Vadim, of our interactions with him, of our friendship with him, of who he was as a person and what he brought to the community and what he brought to each person he encountered. And he brought a lot of positivity and a lot of energy and involvement. He was an involved person. He was definitely there. And yeah. And of course, if you know anything, please reach out to the police department, which is investigating this. Yeah. It's so, yeah. Please have conversations around love and safety, and although I don't know, it just feels like, you know, it feels like it could have happened to anyone if it was just like a random attack. And call your loved ones. I said this in the previous video. Call your loved ones, call the people that you care about, call the people that you haven't spoken to in a while. It's all so important. And say a prayer for him tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern time, or right now. I started saying a prayer for him and it was helpful. I said, Vadim, we love you. Thank you for being in our life. Thank you for bringing all of yourself. Thank you for being so vivacious, and thank you for your smile, and thank you for your convictions and your energy, and we love you, and thank you for every contribution that you made. And yeah, amen. Yeah, so I will post where the ceremony will be, the Mass, on Sunday at 1 p.m. Synod of Bishops on East 94th, and I think it's between Park and Madison, but I'll post the address, so feel free to come. Then there's going to be a wake. Feel free to bring something food-wise to share for the wake, and many blessings, a lot of safety to all of you, and yeah, see you tomorrow.